Boots.
We got Boots on the ground.
Boots.
Let's bring in Byron Boots from
Here he is.
Overland AI. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Oh, great. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's really exciting to be here.
Yes.
Great to have you.
We're very excited. Can you reintroduce the product and then take us through the latest news and the contract that you just signed?
Yeah, sure. So good news is I'm working here out of our factory in Seattle, so you can actually see the product that we have, right? So we're building autonomous ground vehicles for defense. Basically, think about that as like robots for the battlefield.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to see it?
Absolutely.
You want me to walk through it a little?
Give us a tour.
So here's one of them. This is our Ultra product. You can kind of see the top part of it.
Yeah.
It's a large off-road ground vehicle. You've got sensors in the front, so there's stereo cameras and LiDAR. You've got these big wheels here and long travel suspension. Down here is a payload deck, so you can think about putting big payloads on the vehicle. Right in here, there's onboard power. There's compute down below the deck, comms in the back. So that gives you just a brief overview of one of the things that we're building. And then you asked about the contract, and we're super excited. So we're the first ground autonomy provider to get a production contract with the U.S. military. $20 million contract with the U.S. Marine Corps.
Well timed. Oh, it's fantastic. You're thinking about something. That truck needs a gun on it. What does the payload look like on there? It seems very modular. It seems like you can put a lot of different equipment on that. Is that something that's delegated to the Marine Corps? They decide, they partner with other primes, or do you have like other relationships where you can bring the configuration to them?
So we've put 30 payloads, 30 different payloads on these vehicles. It's designed to be modular. You can see that there's L-track down here that makes it really easy to attach things.
Sure.
So this is everything from kinetic payloads, like remote weapon stations, drones, EW.
Sure.
So it depends on what the customer wants. We can help them integrate anything onto this vehicle.
Dogs as a form factor. There's been a bunch of sort of
robot
creepy
dogs?
robot dogs
Or actual dogs?
Well, we should get into real dogs.
Yeah.
But there's been a bunch of videos circulating recently. There was one maybe a week ago of a robotic dog, and it seemed like they had solved like some of the recoil challenges. Do you think that's how are you thinking about that form factor? Obviously, you guys are focused on something else, but I'm sure you understand the trade-offs of both. I can imagine like your product is much better for high range, situations where you need a lot of range. But how do you think about it?
Yeah, so one of the reasons why we love this form factor is that it's, first of all, large enough to put a serious payload on it. It can handle 1,000 to 2,000 pounds, depending on what the configuration is. It's got wheels, so it has really good use of energy. You can drive it 100 miles. So robot dogs are really cool too. So before I started Overland AI, I was a professor running a lab where we worked on machine learning and robotics, and we had a bunch of robotic dogs in the lab, and they're fun to work on. But I think wheeled vehicles are really the place where we can get the most.
You're saying the wheel is underrated and it doesn't need to be reinvented. That's what I'm hearing.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I mean, so not only do you not need to reinvent the wheel, I mean, if you have squishy tires, you can do things like drive up and down stairs and do all sorts of stuff. So
I never thought about how simple that is. You can just drive up the stairs if your tires are big enough. How big are the tires on that truck?
I think these are like 38-inch, so pretty big.
38s. That's fantastic. Yeah. I love it. What does the actual manufacturing process look like? Obviously, you're a very well-funded company, $100 million round recently. Yeah. At the same time, there's probably a lot of experimentation, a lot of putting different parts of the supply chain together, a lot of modularity. So how hand-built are these? What does the automation story over the future look like?
So the Ultra vehicle like this one is actually based on a Polaris Razor chassis and drivetrain.
Okay.
So we get that from Polaris, and then we upgrade the suspension. You can actually see a great view of that here.
Got it.
We pull out the seats. We just add this flat payload deck.
Yeah.
And we do all the work to add the compute and the sensors and wiring power, all of that kind of stuff. So we pull all that together in our factory here. We're also very field forward, so we test these out in the fields all the time. We're in the field every single day, working on the software, the autonomy. And I think one thing which is really, really important about these systems is that this is a completely autonomous robotic system, right? Like it has sensors that allow it to perceive the environment, plan through the environment, control it so that a user can just tell it where it wants it to go, what payload to execute. It's not, it doesn't have to be teleoperated. A single user can control multiple vehicles. It's one of the things which is really cool about this tech.
I imagine there's like very high demand for both teleop and full autonomous mode, though, right? People want to be able to port in for a particular mission and then also be able to just try and draw waypoints on a map.
So one of the things that I think we see is when people first start to use a vehicle like this, they're like, oh, like I want to teleop it and be able to precisely control where it goes. But they quickly realize that you can actually just tell it where to go on the map, tell it, what orientation you want it to be in, and it will just go there and do it. And so it's actually safer, more efficient, and allows you to get like much more force multiplication if the operator just relies on the autonomy to get it there. And so what we've seen is warfighters really embracing that and starting to experiment much more with that. So we think autonomy really is the future.
Any plans to make a dual-use version for Malibu? If you got a bunch of surfboards, you want to get them down to the beach, you load them up and say, hey, I'll meet you there in 5 minutes.
Some natural light.
I mean, it sounds awesome. We are actually dual use. We are using this for things like wildland firefighting and other things. So who knows? I mean, maybe pretty soon we'll be able to get you guys one.
Yeah.
The day party market.
The Amman. Taking you around the hotel property. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Fantastic news. Congratulations. And we'll talk to you soon.
Incredible.
We appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.